Let's get started with some hypotenuse leg. This would be lesson number 5. We've already done side, 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 angle, side, angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. Now we're trying to prove triangles are congruent using hypotenuse leg. This only works on right triangles. So it's key that they're both right triangles. And in order to use this, we need to make sure that the hypotenuses are the same. So that's the H part. The hypotenuses are the same. And then we just need one of the other legs. It doesn't matter which one. But here we need to have it be the short leg and the short leg, or the long leg and the long leg. We can't mix up like a short one and a long one. That doesn't make sense. So we'll say this one and this one. This is the hypotenuse. This is the leg. And if they're right triangles, we get to use this. So we need hypotenuses are congruent. One leg, set of legs are congruent. And then we can use this one. So looking at the examples here, this angle and this angle are the same. We've got two sides the same, but we don't know if that's a right triangle. We don't know if that's a right triangle. So sure enough, that's an angle, a side, and an angle, but we don't know if it's a right triangle, so we can't use hypotenuse leg. So no. All right, let's check out B. For B, these are both right triangles, so check. The hypotenuse is the one across from the right angle, so those hypotenuses are congruent. That's good. And then we have one set of legs. So yes, we can use hypotenuse leg. Now looking at C, I've got a right triangle, check. I've got the hypotenuse across from it, check. But I don't have a leg, I just have hypotenuse. So that's a no. So again, we need to make sure that they're right triangles. We need to show the hypotenuses are congruent and one set of legs are congruent, and then we can say that those triangles are congruent. So going to D, I've got, it's a right triangle, that's good. And then I have the angles are congruent, but I don't have any sides. So that doesn't work for this, because this ends up being angle, angle, angle. And that does not work to show congruence, so no. Let's check out E. E, if that's a right angle, this will be a right angle because that's a linear pair. So if you took 180 degrees and minus 90 degrees, you get another 90. So those are definitely congruent. So check on the right triangle. It definitely shares this leg down the middle. That will be reflexive. So that will be the leg. That will be a check. But we don't know anything about the hypotenuses across from it. So this is a no. I don't have enough information. I need a right triangle. Hypotenuses are congruent. And one leg, set of legs are congruent. So let me come over here to F. These are both right triangles. So check. The hypotenuses, so across from the right angles, are congruent because of that tally mark right there. So that's good. And then they share this leg down the middle, so that's reflexive. We've got hypotenuse leg. So yes, hypotenuse leg. All right. Well, that works on checking to see if the triangles are congruent by using hypotenuse leg. Now let's check out a proof. Let's start with the givens first. WY is congruent to XZ. That's given. WZ is perpendicular to ZY given, and XY is perpendicular to ZY given. So this symbol means perpendicular, and that means that the angles are 90 degrees. In other words, right angles. All right, so now let's go on to checking what we have in our proof and what pieces we have that are congruent, which ones aren't. We need to make sure that they're right triangles. We need to show that the hypotenuses are congruent, and then we need to show that one set of legs are congruent. So let's make sure that we've got that. All right, so let me see what I've got first. WY is congruent to XZ. WY is congruent to XZ. So this one is congruent to this one all the way across. All right. Looks good. So we've got one set are congruent. It looks like the hypotenuse, but before I do that, let's make sure. Now I've got WZ is perpendicular to ZY. So WZ is perpendicular to ZY. That means this is a right angle. So angle WZY is a right angle. And let's do this one at the same time. This one, what does this mean? XY is perpendicular to ZY. That means this is a right angle. So angle WZY over here and angle XYZ are right angles. How do I know that? That is the definition of perpendicular lines. That's a bit of a new one for us. Let's put a little star next to it. Okay. So if I'm looking at what I've got my right angle now. Across from it is the hypotenuse. So I've already got those. Those are the first things I've got. And now I need to prove that I've got a set of legs are congruent. I think that one's a little bit easier. So I've got, well, what I should do before I get to that is, since those angles are right angles, that means the triangles are right triangles. So let me not skip that. Right triangles. So from angles to triangles, and a right triangle is a triangle that has a right angle in it. So that is the definition of right triangle. Well, triangles. That one's new. Almost skipped that one. My bad. And so I need to show, the last thing I need to show is I get the hypotenuse. I've now said that they're right triangles, which is good. So that's the other part I need. And now I need to show some legs are congruent. So using the same move that we did in a lot of other proofs, this triangle here has ZY as a leg, and XYZ has ZY as a leg. So ZY is definitely congruent to itself. So ZY is congruent to ZY or YZ. And that is a reflexive property. And that is a leg. So I've shown that they're right triangles. Check. The first thing I got was that the hypotenuses were congruent. And I'm ending with that the legs are congruent. So now I can see the triangles are congruent. So triangle WYZ is congruent to triangle XZY. And how do I know that? hypotenuse leg. All right, that is a hypotenuse leg congruency. We can now show that triangles are congruent if we show that there are right triangles, that we show that hypotenuses are congruent, and one set of legs are congruent. We checked through here to see if we had those congruences or not. Sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. And then we ended with a proof here where we showed or were given that a hypotenuse is congruent. Then we were given that some sides are perpendicular, which means that there are right angles, which means that there are right triangles. And so now I can use hypotenuse leg because I shared that there are right triangles. So the last thing to prove was that the legs were congruent, and hypotenuse leg allows me to say that those triangles are congruent. And I'm done. All right. Flip it over, and then you've got a little bit more practice of trying to see if they're congruent using hypotenuse leg, and then you've got two proofs. All right, good luck.